Okay, and cycle. Okay, cool. And with this, I can finish this one. Blind spot done. Peak is waiting for you when you slip out of the operations center, nervously poking at their small slate. Sleeper, they hiss. I followed what you were doing on the network. Incredible work. How do you do that? Comes naturally. Peak smiles. I can tell if that's modesty or just the truth. Interfacing skills like that, it's almost worth being. They stop themselves. Sorry, I didn't mean. Don't worry about it. Peak nods. Sorry. You and Pete quietly slip into the main walkway. Technically, if you think about it, should be thankful to be a sleeper because technically, you're a cop. You are not the same person as the person who signed up. So you are your own separate being that is only in existence because it happened. So if anything, should be thankful for it and not be dreading being it. You and Peak quietly slip into the main, walk away, and work your way back to the public areas of the cordon. Havenage has had to quickly respond to the flotilla's arrival, and that means a lot of contractors and spacers walking through these corridors. You blend in easily enough. I haven't really met a sleeper before. Peak begins, as you might have guessed. They smile nervously. Hawthorne is an XPR service outpost, and since the collapse, no one came for refueling or repairs anymore, so my generation has never met anyone outside the company. We heard about sleepers. They nod in your direction from the data packets that come through from XPR every once in a while. They usually contain news along with the corporate propaganda, but the reports were light on the details. SNRP have kept the sleeper program pretty quiet anyway, and I think XPR are only interested in telling their employees about it because it made living in our company town look like a good life in comparison to being a piece of corporate property. They freeze. Sorry, again, I don't mean. They look down. It's just not. I'm just not sure how to talk about this stuff. It's okay. Peak smiles. I'll shut up about it now. You walk in a little further, the walkway becoming busier, you both relax a little more, and you go with the flow of people. I just wanted to say I think I understand. They begin again. Clearly this has been on their mind. I understand the need to escape, to get free of it all. They laugh at themselves. The structures, the systems, the company, horizons in a company town. They stare ahead, the small places, small corridors, small people. They look away, the slow death it brings. That's it, they turn to you. I get why you signed up to be a sleeper, and why you escaped from that too. It's not that. Yeah, just nod. You try to form words, but you can't. There's altogether too much running through your head, but you look at Peak and they look at you, and that seems okay for now. You walk in silence again, each of you in their own thoughts, but moving together through space nonetheless. After a while, you come to the entrance to the cordon, where handfuls of workers and crews filter in and out through two huge loading bay doors. Peak stops. Okay, they pause. I'm heading back to the Briar. Once again, incredible work on the sensors. That blind spot you created, that should give us a real advantage. See you soon. They head off, disappearing into the crowd almost immediately, outrunning their own nervousness. Cool. And now it's just the crew canteen, which I need about 36 money for, which I can go down and get plenty if I work at the one place, which is here, the tea house. Yeah, if I work here, it's plus 24 for working once, which, bam, now I have enough cash. Oh, that's only thinking about paying for it 3 times though. Because now crew canteen, because it needs 5 more times. That's guaranteed done. That's guaranteed done as well. Okay, and we run that. 1 and 4 to bad. Neutral outcome. But they still got suspicion. Okay, so neutral does cause suspicion. Alright. Oh, it's only minus 12 if it's bad. I did not realize that. Okay, so this next set of dice, I have it all done. And with 3 days left to spare. Cool. End cycle. One of the dice will be used, oh, something. A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little but does not respond. The drone buzzes closer and the voice gurgles out of its speaker. Restored and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Why? The drone clicks and whirs and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Inspect the drone. You move closer and the drone bobs away to a safe distance. But as it does, you see the HA of Havenage emblazoned on its side. Could it be Fang's drone? Satisfied that it has delivered its message, the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrived. You stare at it as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. To the cordon, then. I guess so. Which, he's right there. But I want to get this done first. Which... it's guaranteed to be good doing this. Cool. But oh wait, no, back in. And then I put the 2 in here. Bam, and bam, and it's done. Okay. You meet Peak leaning in the corner of the canteen in a typically unassuming way. It occurs to you as you approach that Peak must have had some practice at staying invisible. All good. They look up from their slate. That crew you were talking to, they nod to the group leaving the canteen. Will they join us? They'll do it. Nicely done. Peak beckons for you to follow as they peel off the wall and head out into the walkway overlooking the cordon. Glad you were here to talk them into it. I never had much of a way of people. Peak smiles and looks away quickly as you walk. You and Ash seem to do okay. Peak laughs their light, an easy laugh. Ash not really like other people, which you've probably noticed. If only everyone was like Ash. They fade off, something drawing their attention. What I mean is, people have caused me a lot of trouble. I've had people hate me without knowing a thing about me. They tuck their hair behind an ear. I'm sure you know the feeling. I do. Pete glances at you. Sorry to hear that. It marks you. Am I right? It does. Pete nods. You both walk in silence for a moment. Not an awkward silence, but one of solidarity. Pete leads you around the corner, heading back to the main cordon access way. I appreciate you coming in and helping us out on this sleeper, on talking to the crew, and, well, you know. Maybe after this insane plan is done, we can talk properly. They keep looking ahead, and you realize they are nervous. I'd like that. Peak smiles, looking down at their feet. That's settled then. They say to the floor, they have a crush on me. I better report the news to Ash. We have over ourselves a tug escort. Peak stops at an intersection. See you soon, sleeper, and please take care. And with that, they drift away, their head down, their gait changing as they do, their practiced invisibility shrouding them like a cape. Ooh, ah. Okay, and then down here, it's all finished. I guess I just gotta wait for those last few cycles for that. Okay, let's see what Fang wants. As you enter the passageway that leads through the cordon, of a flash of movements catches your eye. The drone, it stops to make sure you've seen it, and then flits into a side passage leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb up through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you are following, despite its lack of expression. There's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. After a long climb, it's gonna be hardened, isn't it? You come out onto an observation platform, the cordon and the vast, ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect this situation. Something shifts nearby, the drone again. Oh, Helen. A woman is standing at the window at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised. You didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder and she turns. Sleeper, sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense. She nods at the drone, but I have never regretted being cautious. She smiles a tight smile and holds out a hand. I'm Helen. Shake her hand. Tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look, she glances around the empty observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plan. She cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Havenage member when you see it. You are Havenage? Yes, I mean, I expect that is obvious. The tight smile again. I hope you won't hold that against me. She glances around nervously again and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I am not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. Especially not the refugees. She sighs. I'm not your enemy here, no matter what you think. She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havenage mean to you? Hardenhurst, a work in progress. Fair. Havenage is used to being criticized. In some ways, we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting, to propose new structures and approaches. She shifts her weight impatiently. As a counselor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each counselor, each member, each representative can be flawed and worse. She looks down, but we keep this place running. That is what we do. And the flotilla? She turns and looks at the clump of fractured ships. The flotilla is a problem. Can I take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruin, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of Garol? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure. Helen's slate chirps and a grim look passes across her face as she sees the notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting a rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havenage works. I came to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. She looks directly at you. I'll play dumb. Really, who's playing at this point, though? Please, I don't have time for games. I know you think you are helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the ring, one of the countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evaluate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Helen walks to the window. Too many in the Havenage Council think of the flotilla as a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged. Protective, selfish, they seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is a danger to the life on the eye. I'm not bringing them fuckers onto the eye. I'm just giving them supplies so they don't fucking die out there. I don't see the fucking issue there. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline counselor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR are undermining the security of the station. She shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. That's your problem. The refugees need supplies. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them, but unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. She sighs deeply, and those dead XPR spacers you're running with, Sleeper, do you know anything about them? More than I know about you. Let's change that, Sleeper. Shit, she's trying to... Ooh, she wants me to know more about her. Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since Solheim collapse. We need to be ready for whatever is coming, ready to protect the eye. I know the eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you are still here. Help me protect it. Helen fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spacers that this is the wrong move. That they will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down. That Havenage will be delivered into those with the worst instincts. Forget the suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. This... Why don't you stop them? If I expose the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they get caught. Every way I look at the Eye looks compromised, the quarantine justified. The hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether, to persuade the members they are the safest pair of hands. She looks at you imploringly. Please. You look back at her and the flotilla behind, and a sense of desperation in her plea. Notification breaks the silence. Shit. She rapidly scrolls across the pages of the data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. Talk to the spacers. Help them see reason. Then she quickly leaves the observation deck before you have time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tugs and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships, so close to your destination and yet so far from it. And then you think of the Havenage Council chamber across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back into the stairwell and the cold dark below. Oh, it's a bit too late to not help them, because I kind of yeah, already have. But then that's the question. Oh, that is such a fucking conundrum right there. Do you give them the supplies, risking having them completely shut out? Or do you not give them supplies, risking them possibly dying before they're possibly even let on? At that point, better to live and look for somewhere else than to stay here and die. So I'm gonna give them the supplies. Than to stay here and risk it. So yeah, they get the supplies. Okay. You know, I'm gonna do it. Oh, no, this just needs a lot either way. Holy shit. Saving the crop, saving the crop. This does nothing but save the crop. Oh, sacrifice. You're quite literally sacrificing sections off of it. But you can only sacrifice so many. Yeah, no. Holy shit, that's a lot of sacrifice. No. Just slowly but surely fill it up. Okay, that was a positive. Why did it still sacrifice a section? Wait a minute, I want to count those pluses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's... And take up half of them right there, just doing that once. 2, 3, 4, 5. But then again, it would also up it by 5. Which would be a third of it. Which it's either... Which it would take 3 dice to do that over here. Technically, as long as it... I guess it doesn't matter. Technically, as long as it's all together in the end. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna grab a quick bite with Emphas. And then... Alright. Feed the kitty. And end cycle. Still need to wait a couple cycles for the ship to leave. Sleeper, Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different, pale, drawn out. You need to come up to the Briar now. They don't meet your eye. What's happened? Not here, Peak hisses. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks away. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. I'll check out what this is first. No, I won't, because I'm not even going to finish this, I don't think. So I'll just do this first. Engineer. No, wait, I can just come over here. Do that. Bam. Oh, that didn't even do as much as I expected. It's just a faster route. Guaranteed good. That's up one. And then do that one. That's up two. Just upgrade that. Okay, so this will complete this. But I'm not going to do this yet because I don't want to be caught on the second timer. And fuck it, we gamble. Positive. We finish this up. Do I get paid? You and Bliss are floating in the bay's airlock, waiting for it to cycle. You pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by a lazy wind. Clean work. Bliss blows a little. Well, thank you, Sleeper. You didn't do so bad yourself. She checks her tool belt. Seems like we're getting into a good rhythm. The now familiar sequence of clunks and rattles sound out. And then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something has once again gone wrong. What's all this? Bliss asks confused looking Moritz. Beside him are a set of crates anchored to the bay floor. He has cleanly just brought them in through the bay's crate lock. Moritz looks nervously between the two of you before answering its payment. He runs a hand along the crate. The Sycamore Seed crew just brought them over. He stops, but seeing the look on Bliss's face adds, they were very thankful. I bet they were, she clenched her fist. What the hell is inside? Moritz leans over and struggles with the catches on each side of the top crate. As he does, Bliss turns to you. Don't say it. Bliss stares into space. Don't you dare say it. Say what? You know, she looks back at you. This isn't my fault. Moritz finally gets the catches free, and the lid floats off, drifting up into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes him. Is that a mushroom? Bliss finishes. A damn mushroom. They paid us in mushrooms. Not just mushrooms, he holds out a clump of tightly packaged leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing. Goddamn Haifa commune. Should have known they didn't have a chit to rub between them. She knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Stop, Bliss. Moritz grabs her hand. These are good, fresh, we can sell them. To who, Moritz? Are we running a grocer now? We need cryo, otherwise this whole bay will be shut down. We can't pay for parts with leafy greens. She waggles them in Moritz's face. Shit, I can use them. Moritz is right. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Fine, maybe Moritz is right, but what do we do between now and market day? She rubs her forehead. What a joke this place is turned out to be. Moritz closes up the crates and starts moving them. It isn't that bad, Bliss. It's a step in the right direction. He glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well. Bliss sighs. Looks like I went into business with a couple of wannabe farmers. Not wannabe, I am a farmer. I got my own done already. I'm just not tending to it. She laughs. Prove me wrong then. Show me this is a windfall. She kicks away towards the new patched together terminal. Until then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open. Moritz mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crates. You better be on your way too. Hey yo, I got 3 mushrooms. Let's go. So I got 4 days until next contract. Okay. Well, that's something for me to eat, I guess. Okay, let's see what Peak had to say. As you walk into the Climbing Briar's cavernous bay, now filled with crates and containers, Ash is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open with its inside scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize, Helen's drone. You freeze. Come in quick. Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer onto the container, your eyes on the drone splayed out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at. Ash looks up from the dissection. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA signature on it. The removed pieces of plating. It's a Havenage spy. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Peak looks at you nervously. Ash cuts in. Have you noticed anyone watch you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the Briar? I've seen this drone. Ash frowns. Following you? Yes. They must have been tracking us for a few cycles. Pete cuts in. Why didn't you say anything earlier? I meant its owner. Ash pauses for a while. Pete, looking between the two of you, explains Sleeper. Ash says quietly, tell him about Helen. You explain that you met with Helen at the Cordon, and you tell Ash and Peak about what she told you. That the Havenage Council is debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Ash walks away in anger, and then comes back again, her eyes burning. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we've told you? She paces in front of you. Havenage are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it. The wider the project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. I didn't have a choice. Pete cuts in. Listen to them, please, Ash. They are with us. Pete glances between you two. What was the Sleeper supposed to do? They were ambushed by this Helen. I only listened. Let me tell you something, Sleeper. Ash says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the way in which their hands are tied on their processes compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne. I have seen it, what it did to her. That noble, higher calling is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at a cost to their humanity. Peak tries to cut in, but Ash holds up a hand. Don't start, Peak. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. You're right. Ash doesn't move for a moment. Then she lifts a hand to rub her temple. She goes to say something, then stops. She walks back into the bay and starts checking the straps on the crates. I'll make the run. She yanks on the strap. No more distractions. Sleeper. Peak looks torn. You have to understand, this is personal for Ash. I know. Peak looks away, then Ash. I don't know, Sleeper. I just don't know what to do. You glance around the bay of Briar, the walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you, and the question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peak. And what do you think, Sleeper? Peak rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? Yes. Peak nods. Okay then. They squeeze your shoulder. Onward. They slip away to help Ash, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. A certain kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. No, tomorrow's the last chance. But whatever. Okay, end cycle. There's only one other thing I'm waiting on, I believe. Yeah, just bliss. And I just need to wait one more cycle. I can't do anything else really. What I can do is... Okay, let's real quickly just eat at Memphis. There's only one thing I'm left with I can do. Ooh, that's some good dice. Which, that's just continue down this other rabbit hole. Which I guess I can finish it up. Just let it... Fuck you. There, it's positive. Okay. Quite the achievement, isn't she? Sandra Silas must be proud. You recognize the resonating voice of Castor immediately, and turn to see him, hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor? I see you remember our game. Good. Damn, it's a good thing I went to Castor before this. Otherwise I wouldn't. And this might have been harder. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes Tavla a little difficult. He smiles broadly. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform. The telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanied his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Havenage shipyard when they announced the result of the crew lottery. They screwed us. I know, he sighed, meeting your eye. An ugly business. Sellers are too used to the way things work in the core. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out at the side reel. You know why they built this monstrosity of the eye? Money? That was part perhaps, but there are cheaper shipyards. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Celis built is here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. A secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak, sleeping people locked in cryosleep, like the person that you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them, and Celis wants to send them out to a planet at the edge of the settled systems without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, you can do something about that. You are like me. You deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. With someone like you on the ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You can ping back whatever I need whenever I need it, as long as you are on board. With you on the side reel, and with some minor modifications, he pauses, you can be my eyes and ears. I will keep track of Celis' grand project through you. In short, says Castor, stretching, I can get you aboard, Sleeper, but I'm going to need you to help me. Who are you? I am a concerned party, someone who likes to know what is happening when it is happening, not afterwards. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lem. That can be arranged. It is difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. Castor clunks closer to the window, watching the tugs wheeling around the side rail. It's a simple offer, and the only one that will get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouetted against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance. As I said, there is a Celis Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transit. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Celis aren't stupid, though. Their ship is totally isolated from the station. You'll need to get on board if you want access to their air-walled servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news. He smiles. I know it's his importance to you and the little one. So cute. You don't extract the data before the sidereal horizon leaves the hub, then I will get the message. We have other options, but you are certainly my preferred one. Oh fuck, I just started another countdown. I fucking knew it. But be sure you act, Sleeper. Once you take the data from Celis, you'll set off a series of events that will likely be hard for you to untangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You're bringing a lot of attention to yourself. Castor glances around as if to emphasize his point. There are only a handful of cycles until departure, Sleeper. Make your decision. With that, Castor marches back off the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving you to contemplate the sidereal horizon and the part it may play in your future. Fuck me. No, it's escape on the sidereal. There it is. It is leaving in 8 days. I'm only on the first act of the fucking thing, so So it's either I don't leave on this and I finish like the three extra acts there, or I leave on this and end the game. Damn. Me and my damn ass curiosity trying to fucking look at shit. Okay, let's into it. Just make some extra cash. Ain't got nowhere else to shove these right now. Okay. And then there's this is happening this next cycle. Oh wait. It wants me to complete rejob. No, that's bliss. Steal the cell data. I'm guessing I need to. If I go over here, where would the Celis data be? Like, it's not here. Will it be in Havenage then? You will either be on board or not. Descend. Keep pressing the wrong button. Okay, let's look for shit. Yaligan, Yaligan. Havenage. It's just a few agents. 2 Havenage, 2 Yaligans. That's quite literally all there is. Yeah, there's nothing here. So I really don't fucking know. End cycle. Starving, my guy. She's gone, Sleeper. Peek is breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. Shit. Let's go. If we head to the corridor now, Peek starts back up the corridor. They turn back. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. Okay, so this would have happened either way. I chose. Okay. Shiver runs down your spine. Esh, I hope you know what you're doing. Gotta fucking run down here. Bitch, let me fucking... There we go. You arrive frantic and anxious at the corridor and Peek is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway Helen's drone led you through before, the one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, then momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper, Peek emerges from the light. I know she is trying to protect me, but... It's okay, she chose. But what about my choice, Sleeper? I'm not a child anymore. I can fight for myself. They turn away. There she is. Peek rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the Climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. You spot the Climbing Briar, glint of blue and white, and beside it the red glare of a tug lights. The tug crew went with her. Peek smiles. I knew they'd keep their word. That'll help. Peek doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of the crew backing Esh up makes you smile. Maybe this thing will work. You watch as the Briar and its tug escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon, demarcated by the red lights of the perimeter system. So far so good. The Briar will just look like another refuge ship being escorted into the cordon, at least at a glance. Peek grips the rail as Esh reaches the edge of the cordon. That invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. Now let's hope the blind spot triggered. Think back to the mess of systems you had to wade through to set it up, the contingencies you set up to trigger the sensor blackout at just the right moment. Without noise, without ceremony, the Briar slides through the cordon. You wait the flickering of alarm lights, the swarming of drones, but nothing. Just another cycle, just another ship. Esh is in. Both you and Peek let out a breath you've been holding and laugh. How did she do it? Peak smiles, shaking their head. We did it. Peak smiles wider. Yes, we did. They laugh. You feel a little shaky from the tension, but Peak's ease helps you settle. You imagine Esh, steely-eyed in the pilot seat of the Briar, searching for a place to dock. Maybe being stubborn has its advantages. What now? Now she finds a place to dock and unload as quietly as possible. They look out at the flotilla, and then she gets the hell out of there. You and Peak turn back to the window, looking up to the Briar amongst all those holes. The calm fading as new worries settle in. You spot the Briar first this time, docking with the largest of flotilla ships, a vast converted tanker, half of its protective plates removed. You think about the effort it must have taken for that thing to get all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its placid exterior. They will be offloading everything now, Peak says, both assuring you and themselves that everything is going to plan. You think all the supplies loaded onto the Briar, and how long the process of unloading they might take. The bay was packed, rammed with everything you could offer, and the thought of bringing all that to the flotilla makes you smile. You think of the reaction of the refugees, of the welcome they'll give Esh as the bearer of such gifts. You even imagine a smile from Esh as she is showered with thanks. You focus on that as you watch the Briar and continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off. Peak points at the Briar, and you see that puff of air and dust that accompanies an emergency pressurization. Esh must have ended things early, but why? Then you see them, the tugs closing in on the Briar. Havenage must have spotted the ship. You and Peak are up against the window again, willing the Briar a safe path out of the flotilla. Suddenly the Briar shifts in space, a blue blur between two holes. Peak whistles. Look at that, they smile at you. Looks like those upgrades we put together work. You watch as Esh cuts through the crowded flotilla, the tugs not daring to follow her dangerous path and peeling away. It is hard to keep track of the Briar, and suddenly both you and Peak are searching the black for a sign. Where has she gone? Then all of a sudden, she is out, blue against the black, pulling away from the cordon on a wide arc back towards the station, a clean run. Peak cheers and smiles at you. We did it, she's out. They beam uncontrollably at you, the tension released. You find yourself smiling too, smiling at these two beautiful idiots and their beautiful ship. Then Peak is hugging you, squeezing you with all nervous energy that had been building. Thank you, Sleeper. We did this together. They step back, still smiling. We did something. Come on. They rush out of the observation deck. Let's meet her. There's an upgrade point. Let's go. Peak. You and Peak rush into the Briar, finding yourselves in the now empty bay. The change is a reminder of what you achieved, and looking around, you feel all the more satisfied. A hiss sounds at the far end of the bay, and Esh enters, looking exhausted. Peak runs up to embrace her, but she sits down on the bay floor before they reach her. You did it. They sit beside her. Esh, you were incredible. She smiles, a small smile at this, laying her head on Peak's shoulder. You suddenly feel like you are intruding, seeing the two of them like this, quiet and content. Sleeper, Peak calls, come on over. Cross the bay and sit beside them on the hard metal floor. Esh. Peak asks, did you give the flotilla our chairs? They both burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of it all, and the exhaustion and the worry and everything else. You laugh too. It is impossible not to, and after a while you all come to a stop. Peak wiping their eyes and Esh shaking her head. You would have loved to see it, Sleeper, Esh says quietly. The welcome I got. They came to greet the ship once I docked to offload the supplies. I told them I was coming, of course, as soon as I got inside the cordon, but there were so many children, families. They were smiling at me, shaking my hand. So, was there two, Peak? And he's just as gruff as he sounds over calm. She smiles. They took it all, crate after crate, until the ship was emptied out. Esh looks away. But there were so many, and even with everything we managed to bring, they needed more. They made me promise I would try to come back. Esh, Peak shakes their head. You know we can't do that twice. Esh stands up. What are we supposed to do? Wait for them to lift the quarantine? She is angry again, that familiar tension rising in her voice. Peak tries to tell her back down. Sit, Esh, rest. You have done enough for today. Don't, Peak. I know my limits. Esh hardens. Okay, well, seeing as they didn't catch you, perhaps they will lift it. They know the flotilla poses no danger now, and if they can account for the extra load on the life support. Ash walks away towards the ladder that leads up into the upper part of the ship. I need to rest, Peak. She holds up a hand. Sleeper. Then she limps up the ladder, step by painful step. I'm afraid if you were expecting a change in Ash's demeanor, Peak smiles at you. At least she's honest. Peak nods. I think I need some rest too. They put a hand on your shoulder and get up from the floor. We couldn't have done this without you, Sleeper, and I know those in the flotilla would thank you too. Go rest. Peak limps up the ladder too, leaving you alone on the metal floor of the bay. Your thoughts drift all to all those people on the flotilla, sleeping and sitting on the metal floors like these, children, families playing in cargo bays and repurposed fuel tanks. You know the story isn't over yet, and you look forward to meeting them. The quarantine will lift. You feel more sure of this fact every moment, even though you aren't sure why. You lie back down on the metal and stare at the ceiling. What was it Feng told you, Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Maybe the old guy was right. A home for the lost. You like the idea of that. Maybe in time you can help make that a reality. But something is bothering you, a sliver of a thought, like a splinter you can't extract. Why are thousands of refugees coming here now? People don't abandon their homes for nothing. What wave is rushing through the system, and when will it reach the eye? You shudder on the cold metal floor and get up. Something is coming. You can feel it. This isn't over. Where is Act 2? I do not know. The Cordon. It is in 3 days. Episode Flux complete. Yeah, the first part of Flotilla's story is complete. Episode Refuge begins when the cycle clock below is filled. Good luck. Cool. Alright. Okay, now steal the seller's data. Complete rare jobs for bliss. What about this? Wasn't there something with this? Starving Precycle. Oh wait, no, this is house. Cordon. Oh, I need to wait 3 days for that. That's right. I need to eat. Okay. Oh, one upgrade point. Useless. Okay. To the whim. Ascend. Need to wait 2 more days for that. Sidereal dock. You either be on board or you won't. Oh yeah. How do I do that? I forget. There are like 3 Havenage datas. Escape on the Sidereal. Steal the cell's data. Perhaps you could... Okay. So I need the seller's data. That's a Yaligan agent. That's not what I need. Yaligan agent, Havenage agent, Havenage agent. Don't need any of those. Oh, here we go. Seller's ship. Okay, damn, it puts triple into lockdown if I fail. I never fail. Okay, bam. Okay, reroll. Perfect. And bam. And done. The servers. Oh. Shit, 50-50. If you do this right, maybe you'll be able to pull something more than just IDs. Yeah, 53 cryo. And I get those 50-50s. Oh, I got 5 cryo. Okay, so that's all I could do there. Where is Emphis? Feed me. Oh, I have mushrooms I could have ate for free. Fuck. Oh, Castor. When you arrive at Lemon Media's unit, Castor's already waiting outside, leaning beside the door. Forgive me, sleeper, but Celis is already buzzing with news of the breach. I was expecting you. Will this work? Don't worry, the breach cannot be traced to the specific IDs I'm about to create. Castor reaches into a pocket and produces a sleek green and white hand terminal. The data, please. Hand it over. You hand over a drive with the data, and Castor fishes around for a converter cable to hook it up. He slots it into the terminal, and after some whirring, a set of 2 transparent films marked with numeric sequences are produced. 2 tickets to an uncertain future. Castor smiles to himself. The child will go with Lem, of course. He pockets them. These are yours, but first... He holds out a white cube. Your side of the deal. What is it? Something to help us make use of you. Passes you the square and you rest it in your palm, a small white perfect cube. Suddenly you feel a sharp pain and flinch. The cube jumps from your hand and rattles along the walkway. You look at Castor apologetically. Castor smiles. Not to worry, it has done its job. Now it is for you to do yours. You look down and see a tiny pinprick at the center of your palm. Nothing sinister. Castor puts the terminal away. This way we can keep track of you in the Cyber Horizon. So now I'm trackered. Okay. Whatever. Excellent. Castor hands you the transparent films and you see shimmering portraits of you and Lem flickering beneath the surface. Go give them the good news, and he reaches across and buzzes the unit. Lem slides open the door, half dressed in his gear. Sleeper, what brings you up here? Come in. Beckons you inside. You look at the side, expecting to see Castor, but the wall is empty. Shit, I'm making a deal with the ghost. The unit is cleaner, better organized than last time. Lem sits at the thin bar and gestures for you to sit. Meets with some of the local kids. Someone has started doing lessons down the way. She seems to like it. I'll sit. You sit at the bar. What's up, Sleeper? I have some news. Out with it then, Rem laughs. I have Celis IDs for us. You have? Lem freezes. How? He blinks rapidly as if to wipe you from his vision. Does that mean? Yep. Lem stands up and paces around the unit. We have to pack. He starts laughing. Holy shit, we have to pack. He turns back to you smiling. How the hell did you swing this sweeper? A friend helps. I have the many friends. Well, thank your friend. You show him the ID films and he whistles at the portraits. Impressive stuff. He pats you on the shoulder. You should stay until Mina gets home. We can tell her together. Sure. Buzzer grows. That'll be her. Lem gets up and opens the door, and Mina, bundle of energy and life, rushes into the room. Robot! She shouts. Lem picks her up. Mina, you won't believe what they brought us. You flash her the passes and she looks confused. We're going away after all, Meanie. He lifts her up above her head on that big, beautiful ship. Mina screams and Lem laughs. He puts Mina down and she runs over to you and hugs your legs. I love you, robot. She says quietly, so only you can hear. Okay. And a while later, when you leave, you don't even think to check for Castor by the door until it's too late. You stop and turn halfway down the walkway, but there's nothing there. Even that little white cube is gone. So you keep walking back through the low end, deep in thought, excited and scared all at once. Alright. Okay, so this is just end cycle, or... I believe I still have like mini cycles. Yeah, I got mini cycles left. Still have to wait 7? Yeah, okay. Well, 6 when I end this one. Cool. I might be able to finish with Bliss before that ends. Okay. Inject stabilizer. Bam. End cycle. Oh, it was a bit early to use the stabilizer, wasn't it? Should have saved it for one more cycle to use with Bliss. Yeah, there's not really much to do. I guess. Oh, wrong button. About to say, I guess I can just grab all these just to have them all. Uh, 2 or 3. I have a 3. And there's this one. 1 or 3. I got a 1. Perfect. Okay. Galligan 4. Fuck it, don't take a 4. Damn. The one and only last thing to hack. I guess I spend the rest at work. I don't, like, there's nothing else to fucking use it on. Get some cash. There, I'm over 100. Okay, then we go up. Send the hub. And end cycle. Oh, she could be starving. And Sleeper Moritz is leaning against the corridor wall. It's time. He looks away. Big job just came in. Grand finale. You up for it? I'm ready. Alright then, we are in business. He pushes away from the wall. This has to work, Sleeper. Has to. He looks down. If it doesn't... Is Bliss okay? He frowns. I don't think so. But she isn't hiding that from anyone. Look, Bliss has had a rough time of it. I thought you of all people would understand that. He runs a hand through his hair. Sorry, didn't mean to be. He smiles. Bliss is a good one. She gave me a chance. I owe her. He straightens up. I know you have your own things going on, Sleeper. We all do. But the Bay needs someone. Bliss needs someone. Hell, I need someone to help me keep Bliss from spinning out completely. He scratches the side of his head. Otherwise, there's not much I can do. He shakes his head. And I would hate not to pay back my debts. Moritz stretches. I've got to get back. He nods and walks away. I'm out. See you up there. Okay. And bam. This is +3. Bam. Alright. And done. And done. And done. And gamble. Oh, that's fucked. I believe in my luck. I should not believe in my luck. Can I? Yeah, there we go. Eat. Nope. Okay, capsule and cycle. There we go. It hits you like a wave, a white-edged breaker, roaring island with the force of the entire ocean. The impact is a screaming brightness, blanking out everything behind it is silence. You float in silence, suspended. No, you do not float, you are the silence. It has filled you up, it has emptied you out. You cease to exist, time passes, though you do not feel it passing. Then something flickers in the silence. What the fuck is happening? Then something moves. That something is you. You open your eyes to a metal ceiling of flickering lights. You feel the floor around you, pan it with shaking hands. You assemble an image of yourself lying on your back in a corridor. Shake off the silence and sit up. What was that? You glance around, looking for a sign of some change. Damage on the walls, shouts in the distance, fire and fear. Nothing has changed. The silence sits around you like fog. You try to think, furrowing your brow. How do you think again? It doesn't seem so easy anymore. You force the pathways to light up, the data banks to grant access. Feel like a fraction drive starting up after a long shutdown of the vacuum. In the wave was noise, just as the sound produced by a wave raking across a pebble beach represents trillions of impacts heard as a single roar. So this was the result of trillions of electrons flickering in place, heard as a single impossible scream. Memory/image comes to you. One from the moments before the wave hit. You squint as you imagine it, trying to cohere its blurry form, a broken skeletal ring, the eye, and then a vast arc approaching it, a razor-edged white curve, the wave. The wave approaches the eye spins, turning each part to face the vast white edge. Recognize the skeletal data cloud forms, the bright market, the low end, the green wave, the waste, and then the wave hits just as the flotilla, the cordon, turns to face it. And after that, everything is silence. You open your eyes again. That is the epicenter of what? Damn, bro, now I gotta fucking go see what the fuck's happening over there. It's over at the cordon, right? Oh! Oh yeah, fuck. I just remembered, I forgot about this. Yeah, this had 3 days until this continued. Why is it not letting me fucking... There we go. What's going on, Peak? Even before you reach the cordon, the damage is obvious. The blinking red lights, the drones, the tugs, all are gone. Half the cordon's frame has also been shorn away, perhaps through the impact of some failing ship. People push past you in the corridor, both Havenage staff and contractors clearing the cordon. Try to speak to them, you emit suspicious looks and scattered warnings, but little else. From the equipment being carried out, you suspect this is no relief effort. Havenage are pulling out of this section of the station. Further you pass into the cordon, the less people you see. You can see a few sections have been closed off. The bulkhead doors sealed and red warning lights punctuating the corridors, but otherwise most areas seem functional. Suddenly you feel a hand fall on your shoulder. Havenage security, you should have known better than to wander into this place. You brace yourself as you turn. Sleeper, Peak embraces you as you turn. What are you doing here? Did you see the cordon go down? Did Esh speak with you? Peak glances around and you can see they are panicked. Where's Esh? I have no idea. Peak runs a hand through their hair. I was away from the ship, and when I got back, she'd taken it and gone. Then I saw the damage to the cordon. Peak looks at you with wild eyes. What if it is some Havenage attempt to clear the flotilla, scuttle the refugee ships? Don't jump to conclusions. Peak pauses. What do you know, Sleeper? Something hit the station. Peak looks incredulous. Hit? Sleeper, we'd all be dead if that was the case. They paused to think. Maybe not an object, but a shockwave, a signal. An EMP would have taken out most of the station, but Peak runs a hand through their hair. I don't know what you're saying, Sleeper. That doesn't sound... They look away down the corridor for a moment. Look, I have to find Esh. I'm sure you felt something, but we can talk about that later. They set off down the corridor. I can't sit around any longer. Find me on the flotilla. I'm going to find a way to Esh no matter what. With that, they rush away into the depths of cordon, leaving you behind. Seems like you'll need to follow if you want to get any answers. Corden. I need scraps for passage. Man, fuck that. I'm going back. We ascend the hub. Back to work. Damn, got 6 days to fucking do all this. Okay. That's 1. Which will be 3. This is 3 more. Then we roll, and then that's 3 more. Okay, and then from there we go here with that. And it's 1 more. Alright. Then we shove that in. And oh no, I'm starving. Curses. Foiled again. Okay, capsule. End cycle. Hey look, I got a scrap. Cool. Back to work. Okay, and that should almost finish it. This should be but guaranteed. There we go. Job's done. The atmosphere in the airlock is euphoric. You and Bliss keep grinning at each other like idiots. Exhausted, blinded, sore, and aching idiots. Sleeper, that was incredible. She punches you on the arm. I never thought we were going to make it. Those idiots tangled the whole thing up like nothing I've ever seen. Make a good team. Bliss smiles a winning smile. As the lock's inner door clunks open, Moritz gives a rare whoop. He looks exhausted too, and for good reason. Moritz has been the one ferrying tools and parts back and forth from the ship. His tired smile tells you he's glad it's done. Sleeper, Bliss, he shakes his head. Impressive. When I saw that ship come in, I thought there was no way. Why, thank you, Moritz, she winks, for believing in us. Moritz rolls his eyes. You know what I mean. Take the compliment. He shoulders some of the gear that came back in with you and Bliss and heads to the racks to stow it. Bliss turns to you. I think you should be the one to do the honors. She nods to the ragged-looking console that Moritz assembled. I don't want to jinx it. She smiles, but you can see she is genuinely nervous. Check the console. You glide over to the console and check the screen. It takes a second to see what you are doing through the flickering, cracked display, but after a moment you see the accounts. There it is. Almost 1,000 cryo sat in the bay's transfer account. Well, Bliss calls. Have we been screwed again? We did it. Bliss kicks off from the floor and spins into the bay, shouting as she does. The noise takes Moritz by surprise, and he knocks a rack of parts, scattering handfuls of metal fixings across the bay. The sight is something, glinting steel catching the work lights like glitter. Sorry, says Bliss, grinning when she comes back down. I needed that. She kicks off and joins you at the terminal. Moritz even managed to sell that produce. We made a tidy profit eventually. She laughs. Here, she loads a stack of blank chits into the terminal and transfers a chunk of the cryo to them. This is your cut. Bliss hands you the chits. Thank you for believing in this place. She looks away and smiles even when I couldn't. When you first met me, I was on the edge of giving up. All it would have taken was one more push, but now this place is sparking again. Work is coming in. There are funds in the account. Even Moritz has a spring in his step. You both look over at him, happily racking up tools. That's because of you. She punches you on the arm. He likes you. Shit. He's a good kid. He isn't bad, is he? She leans in closer. You know, he came here looking to rob the place. I gave him a job instead, she laughs. Don't tell him I told you that. I just thought it might help you understand the kid. Moritz turns to look at you, and both Bliss and you awkwardly wave. Maybe it's time to change the subject. You gonna be okay? Me? Always. She looks away. From here on out, it's going to be a little easier. I'm gonna look for some component contracts, stuff that will keep us inside the bay. Not out in the black. No need to risk our necks if we don't need to. You want to cash out? That's fine. But there will always be work for you here when you need it. I appreciate it. She smiles and then out of nowhere quickly gives you a hug. She steps back and glances around reflexively. Take care, she says softly. You too. You turn to leave and sleeper. Yeah. She smiles. Don't spend that all at once. 300. Let's go. I'm balling. Shit. I got two choices. Spend the two. Oh, wait for a third and get +2 in the interface. Damn. Holy shit, that's such a hard choice. As if I even have the time. Oh, wait. Morris has heard Bliss speaking with someone remotely. Is there another job coming in? 6 days. Shit, I'm not gonna be here in 6 days. Yeah, 3 days and then depart. Just show this into making money, I guess. 400, let's go. I'm gonna be leaving with the bank. Okay, there we go. And in cycle. Yeah, just gonna fucking pump it all in the cash. Perfect. $4.99. Just spend a little bit, something to eat. Okay, 2 more cycles. End cycle. All right. 1 more cycle. Okay. That's a 6. Bam. And that's a 5. Bam. That's a 6. Bam. And we gamble on that last one. Positive. Let's go. Free balling. End cycle. And here we go. Time to end the game. Time to go on the shippies. Damn it, let's eat. There we go, energy. Lemon Mina. There's a crowd, but you spot Lemon Mina immediately as you enter the dock. They are waiting at the cordon where Celis security are checking the crew in to board the ship. Those that manage to get up to the hub are crowded near the entrance, but even they know their chance of getting on board has long gone. Lem spots you among the crowd. Sleeper, we are here. They are standing beside a bag, which looks to carry all the possessions they have. It is small enough to be carried in one hand. Hi, Mina. Mina is vibrating with excitement. She seems strangely at home in microgravity, but then you remember that she has spent her whole life in space. Hi, robot. You hand over the Celis ID film to Lem, keeping your own. He turns it back and forth in the light. Where did your friend even get this picture, Sleeper? Looks like my old Conway ID. You look, and a shimmering younger Lem stares out of the film, harder and cleaner cut. I spoke to the guard here. He nods to the white and green clad security officer. They'll be doing orientation and role assignment on board. Sounds like we are going to be working under the core crew. Kind of like an intern. He laughs. What do you think, Meanie? Am I too old to be an intern? Following Lem's lead, you inspect your ID. As you lift the film up to the light, you see something strange, something that makes you flinch. The face printed in the film is one you recognize immediately, but it is not you. At least it is not how you look now. You squint at this ghost, confused why you hadn't noticed earlier. Damn, so what you mean is the actual face of the person and not the clinker that I am. It's a picture you remember being taken, a memory that you didn't know you had. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. You remember the SNRP employee who helped you in, her smile clean and surgical. You freeze in place thinking of the you that still sleeps somewhere in an SNRP facility that won't wake up until you are recovered and disposed of. And now you are leaving. Will they ever wake up? Sleeper, Lem interrupts your thoughts. These guys want us to board. You stare at him without thinking, then notice the guard gesturing to you both to come forward. You all kick off and float over to them, steadying yourselves on the guardrail. You hang back, letting Lem present his ID film first. The guard slides it across the white machine, much like the one Caster printed them from. You flexibly rub the puncture mark on your hand, even though there is no trace of it now. It seems to be your destiny to be someone else's tool. Lem and Mina are waved through, the guard smiling at her excited face. Lem turns back to you. Check you are coming. The guard beckons you closer. Fucking bored. You shake off your doubts and hand over your ID film. The guard barely looks at it as they pass it through the scanner and wave you through. A new life built from old things. You okay? Lem asks, concerned as you catch up with them. You are so slow, Robot Mina teases, grabbing at you with small hands. I'm good. Lem nods and you realize how much harder it must have been for him to cross that threshold. Mina struggles in his arms, trying to get to you, and Lem relents, struggling with both the bag and his daughter. Mina tumbles through the microgravity and grabs onto your clothes for purchase. Pulling herself into your arms, you all proceed up the walkway, the entrance to the docking bridge yawning wide and above you. Are we family, Robot? Mina asks as you move, take you by surprise. I guess so. Mina smiles and presses her head against your chest, pleased by your answer. You keep moving up into the docking bridge and then along that thin, glass-walled connector all the time, Mina clutching onto you. The lack of gravity means you can't feel her weight, only the grip of her small hands on your clothes. You both stare wide-eyed at the vast hole of the sidereal horizon and try to think of this huge machine as a home. Later, when you settle into your bunk, after Mina is finished running back and forth between you and Lem with an endless and infectious excitement, you find yourself looking at your ID film once more. Somehow, since the last time you looked at it, the image seems to have changed. It is still a picture of the old you, the person that signed up to have their consciousness copied and placed in the ownership of SNRP, but something else has crept into the image, an underlying sense of self-identification. This is also a picture of you, you know. You now. The you that survived the eye, that made friends here, that found a way out, that escaped against all odds. The other you might never wake up, but they might never live again. But so be it. They considered you to be to a doomed life for their own gain. Their life is yours now. You will never live it better than they ever could. Oh, if I waited, would I have been able to go back and grab me? Or I don't know how that works. You lay back on your bunk as the thrust of the sidereal's vast engines kick in. The feeling, this rumble, will be your constant companion for the next decades. It will be there when you work, when you watch Mina grow, when you dream of the planet at the end of the journey. It will stay with you when your body starts to fail, despite the best attempts of Lem and Mina as the years stack up and it exceeds its safe operating period by a decade. It will be the thing you wake up to in those rare moments of consciousness between which Mina will keep you in a frozen state in the hope of preserving you until your destination is reached. It will be there when Mina wakes you, tears in her eyes, to tell you of Lem's inevitable death. And it will not relent despite your desire for a moment of silence. It will be the final thing you hear as Mina shuts down all the most vital of your functions in hopes beyond hope that you make it to your fountain. What the fuck is this ending? All the while doubting that you will? But for now, in this moment of departure, it is still a new sound, a new feeling, and because of this, it is filled with the promise of the future. It says I'm gonna be fucking woken up to hear of fucking Lem's death just for fucking Mina to fucking pull the plug on me right afterwards? What the fuck? And so you settle back on your bunk and close your eyes, and in moments you are sleep in a perfect dreamless sleep, the most peaceful that you can ever remember. Okay. Well, damn.